Oh boy, let me tell you something. When I think of Bill and his daughter, Naomi, he is her and she is him. And that's just how it is. And I am here for every bit of messiness that it is. Lord have mercy. Hey guys, listen, welcome Beyond the Gates. It is late night and here I am. We get ready to get started right here. This is season 1, episode 21. Not a whole bunch that went on, but what did go on today was quite juicy. It really was. And like I said when I started, he is her and she is him. And that's Bill and Naomi. It's going to be interesting. It really is going to be interesting. The way that their bravado is set up, and the way that they are going to be cutting each other is going to be perfect television. He told her, when she said that the girls who are suing him, said there's something about rumors, and she said rumors. He told her rumors sound desperate, if you're going to use that word in court. And she told him, okay, and you might not want to call me sweetheart when we're in court because that sounds sexist. I said, see, there's going to be back and forth with the two of them, which is going to make this court stuff. Yes, it is. It's going to be chef's kiss. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. And then he's literally sitting there pleading with her, basically, after he saw she was really serious. Because I don't think at first he was really taking her serious. He was like, frivolous lawsuit, but it really is not a frivolous lawsuit. That old nasty, what's his name? Not Bill, Mike. That old nasty Mike is going to cost you some money. And might cost you your practice if you ain't careful with his nasty self. He's something else. He's a rotten son of a dog. Just a mess. But he ended up pleading with Naomi basically to let this go. But it's still, even him pleading with her and how it's going to be rough on the family and all that stuff, it still had a hint of arrogance. And she was picking up on it. Her arrogance and his arrogance. I was like, this is going to be a holy mess. A holy mess. Smitty and Martin, such a sticky situation. Such a sticky situation. Martin is very selfish. He's very selfish, and he's very just all about himself and what he wants to do, and he is determined to keep Smitty in that house like he's some old housewife. He is not a housewife. Knock it off. But he's just doing the most. He really is. He's doing the most. So I'm gonna come back to them. Let's talk about Haley and Jacob. Haley was out for a little bite to eat, and she ran into Jacob. And she ends up going to Jacob and talking to him about trying to get Naomi and Bill together to squash their differences. Wanted to get them together to squash their differences. And it was interesting. But he was like, listen, I'm sad with my wife, whatever. Because again, I think he knows what actually happened that don't have to do with Haley. And he's like, their stuff was already messed up. Ain't nothing. This is not going to work. And I definitely ain't going against my wife doing this. And Haley's going on and on. And she's very delusional about what she has done. And why can't people just let it go? Girl, it's only been a few weeks. Like, are you crazy? It's literally only been a few weeks since you upset these people's whole family dynamic, and you just want them to just drop it. I'm his wife now. Right. So we got to make you miserable. What is your problem? What is your problem? We got to make it so you can't sleep at night, so you can't digest your food things. We got to make it to where you're nervous every time you see us, sweetie. The hell's your problem? But she's just delusional. Like, oh, they're just gonna let bygones be bygones. You keep on sleeping with my dad over there. Get out of here, crazy fool. So Chelsea was literally running around this whole episode, still talking and trying to get her nerve up to go and tell her mother, I don't want to do this modeling thing no more. I really, really don't. I want to go on and be a designer. I want to give it a shot. I get it. I get it. She talked to Grandma Dupree. She's like, do it. Go for it. And your mother will understand. I was like, I don't know. You know, Danny's a live wire, so ain't no telling. But she ends up running into her Aunt Nicole, and Nicole told her, and this was literally after she actually did get to her mother. She got to her mother, told her mother, I looked at Danny's face. I thought Danny was going to lose it, but she didn't. She didn't. She took the contract and she tore it up, and she said, listen, I did this. I went out on my own. I did what I wanted to do, and I want you to be able to have the same freedom to do it as well. And she said, and you know, I made some mistakes and stuff, of course. Literally leaving the business and then marrying Bill was a big old mistake. So that whole thing was that. But she took it pretty well, held herself together, and didn't let her see her crack. She left up out of there. And then that's when Chelsea ran into Nicole, and she told Nicole what it was. And Nicole told her, listen, please be patient with her if it comes a time where things aren't just flowing, and she seems to be having a hard time with the decision that you made, because you know your mother was a nutball. And I just kind of looked and I was like, nutball Sally, that's your mama. So that's gonna be that. Now let's go over here to Martin's. Martin is dealing with Smitty. Smitty is completely fed up with Martin, and he wants to know why the grandparents were so against his run for president and all of that. And of course, you know, the whole thing of him like not telling him, that's like pissed him off to the lowest pistivity. Okay. So he's pissed off about that. Then he said, you have to think about the kids. So he's afraid for the kids because they're both going to be like seniors. One's going to be a senior in high school. The other one's going to be first year in college. And just the scrutiny, period. He don't even know what he's dealing with his husband, but he's just saying the scrutiny on the kids, like they can't make a mistake. And these are like the years. It is that 12th grade year and then the first year of college. Those are the years when some mistakes might actually be made, but it will be on such a national scale that they'll never live it down and all of that. So he's afraid for the kids. All of his concerns are really valid. Absolutely the concerns that grandmama and grandpapa have for him, or he's just crazy. He's just really, really crazy. So, of course, they do their little talking back and forth. And, of course, he schmoozes Smitty over, and Smitty's like, I don't like it. I don't like it. But we got to do what we got to do. I said, yeah, that's it. That's what you signed up for, baby. You got to do what you got to do. They go to this little restaurant and they have a little bite to eat, honey. And that doggone Martin is sitting there. I said, I was laughing. I said, now you are this powerful person. You sitting there hiding behind the damn menu because they seen the guy, Evan, the one at the wedding that had the job offer for Smitty. Remember that? He had the little job offer for Smitty, and then Martin told him, oh no, he won't just turn it down for him. And he was at the restaurant and he came over. And when he came over, he's like, oh my God, it's so good to see you. So glad I'm seeing you. And he said, you know, I still have that position open. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, oh, so you actually had a position open and you basically told Martin, and Martin kind of shooed you away with it. Okay. All right. So he's pissed, completely pissed. But Evan told him, he's like, yeah, I still have that position open. I said, oops, well, there goes his job. He's going to take that job, and you going to be. Why do I feel like Smitty is going to be the one who uncovers some of the stuff about Martin? Why do I feel like it's going to fall in Smitty's lap, and he's going to have to try to maybe cover something up or something? I just got a sneaking suspicion. I'm like, that's going to be a whole mess. So later on, Bill goes home early, and he's having a little chit chat with Haley, and he's like, yeah, she's like, oh yeah, you're home early, blah, 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 blah. And I wouldn't think that you would be. He said, no, it's just a regular old day. He's being facetious. And he tells her, well, this is that, and that is that, which is all right in line. And then he said, and yeah, Naomi is suing my practice. And so they're like going back and forth. And then he says, and I said, you just as delusional as your wife. He says she just really wants to just prove herself to her dad. That's all that it is. He wants, I think this actually might be the thing that brings us closer. She just wants to show herself to me that she really can really get down. And he like has full faith that he's going to win the case. And I said, oh, you really are arrogant, and you really are delusional, just like your wife. Now, let me say this. We got Kat and Tomas. Tomas, he's getting a little slick now. He's getting a little like he's like opening up to the sex conversation. I was like, chill out. You said you wait. You said you're going to be cool. You said you're going to be a gentleman. You wait and you chill out. Knock it off, Tomas. Telling her, because she told him that she'd be fantasizing about having sex. And he talking about, is it with me? I said, when have I had this conversation before? This is a mess. And she's like, well, yeah, but that's another conversation for another time. I'm like, girl. I said, but stop it, because you don't want to come across like you pushing. Now knock it off, Tomas. But I love that when she met up with Chelsea, being as though we know that Chelsea's a big old slut. Y'all remember, see, because I'm waiting on that storyline to roll back through with the couple that she's swinging with, because I got a feeling she's going to fall for one of them, and it might be the girl and not the boy. And you know how that happens. That the boy, we could dish it, but we sure can't take it. So that's going to be a mess if that goes down like that. But I love the fact that even though she's loose, she got friendly cooch, she literally keeps Kat on her virginity journey. She told her really nicely, listen, slow down. You said you're going to hold on to it. Hold on to your little cup, honey, and just chill. You got to make sure it's the right person and the right time. I said, well, I love that. I love that because I ain't going into that today, but I have a cousin that she did that, but it wasn't quite on purpose. My virtue stayed intact, but it wasn't really on purpose. I'll tell y'all the story another day, not today. Anyway, moving right along. Nicole, two more things, and then we're out of here. Told you it wasn't a whole lot, but it was juicy. Nicole dropped in on Danny, okay? She dropped in on Danny. Danny's sitting on the couch. That outfit was a mess. I said, yeah, that's something that a model would wear. Didn't nothing match, but it just had she got her own little swag going. That's how models dress. They do. They can pull off stuff that normal people can't pull off. The patterns be all crazy, but it just works. Nicole dropped in on her, baby, seeing her sitting there with that cup because she done got back in that bottle. I said, girl, this drinking is really going to be a problem for Danny. This drinking thing is, I don't like it. But now here we go. I said, here we go. Back to the whoa, wait a minute. Naomi is sitting there, get ready to get her a bite to eat. And she looked up and who comes and I mean, she came storming in the place and sits down. It's Haley. What is wrong with this lady, y'all? What is wrong with her? Like, she's nuts. She's nuts. She really is. She literally wrote up on her and told her, what in the hell do you think you're doing? Girl, who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? What in the hell do you think you're doing? What the hell do you think you're doing in my face about business that has to do with me and my dad, with your old home wrecking self? If you don't get out of here, I said, girl, she's too much. She's too much. So that is basically where we ended out at. And I said, what is getting ready to happen here? What is getting ready to happen with you in her face talking smack? And she was looking at her so hard, I said, you might want to give her 50 feet, dear. You might want to give her 50 feet. You know, already got some from her mama. Anyway, so listen, that is all of what took place behind the gates today on the 26th of March. That was episode 21 of season 1. And listen, I'm getting from behind this gate, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Bye now.